Hello, hello, and welcome once again to EOB Salon Talk. Today's guest is none other than who I call MC Kev. But for my audience there, can you introduce yourself for me, please?
My name is MC. My nickname, which stands for Master of Creativity. Of course, everybody used to call me MC Cav. It's a name that I go by because of my lyrics and music that I used to
We're
do
going to get into that
as a
soon.
kid.
Yes.
So now, as an adult, it transformed into Master of Creativity because of the art and other things I do along with lyrics. So,
Beautiful.
but my government name, Kevin.
Okay.
But everybody call me MC or MC Kev.
MC Kev. I'm going to stay MC Kev. So,
That's what's up.
MC Kev. So, the reason I asked you for this interview, right? I know people see you, they know you as the artist, but I know you as MC Kev, like you said, Master of Creativity. So we were in the salon. This is called Salon Talk. So it all goes back, all my conversation goes back to what happened in the salon, right? So we were in the salon having this conversation, and the conversation was about people and people rebuilding their life, turning their life around. And I said, I could name a couple of people that I know. So one of the things that I said in the conversation was, you should never let your circumstances that you're in now determine your future, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the young lady that was here was saying like things are hard, it's easier said than done. So I wanted to do this interview with you because for me, she's saying that is saying to me that a lot of people are not having people they could look up to. And for me, you're one of those people that I actually look up to in a lot of ways because I think you recreated yourself, you reimagined yourself. So give me some side story on who Kevin was and who Kevin is.
Okay. Well, I was a young rapper and artist. I was signed to Atlantic Records, Spoil Rock Entertainment, in 1995. By the time 1996, ended in 96, beginning 97 came around, I was incarcerated. I did 21 and a half years.
Hold on. You did 21 and a half years.
Yes.
God bless you, my brother.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
While I was in prison, I made the conscious decision to better myself in all aspects of my being. I knew this wasn't the lifestyle for me. I was young, I made mistakes. I thought I was invincible with the things I was doing. And now I had time to think and really evaluate my life and say, is this what I want for my life? I have gifts, I have talents, I have a service to render to the world. I shouldn't be here. So I just started honing all my skills and mastering myself along with my gifts.
I absolutely now I'm in love with you a little more because this was the base of the entire salon conversation. You said something to me that's so powerful, and I think for today's society a lot of our youth need to hear that. We live in a society where there's different movements. The poor black man, they're going through different issues, but one of the things you said, you were incarcerated for 21 years, right?
Yes.
But what was powerful to me about that is that did not define who you are now. Because that I knew nothing about that, in my opinion, and you, because who I know now is somebody that's giving back. Is somebody that's helping the community. Is somebody that's an artist. Is somebody that's bringing in the youth and helping the youth to kind of be a better person. And I would hope somebody would watch this podcast at some point and get that from it. So this is going to be a very powerful interview for me. So I'm starting out by saying thank you for that. Thank you for your service to the community.
Thank you for having me.
But let me ask you, you living and doing what you've been there, we all make mistakes. What gave you that drive? How did you know? What influences you? Or maybe I should say, what was it that make you decide, you know what, this is not for me? I have better.
Just the lifestyle of prison, you you're confined with people that you normally wouldn't be around, white, black, and other, and different, all walks of life, from bank investors to pedophiles, and so when you're stuck in around all this and all these different mentalities, you say to yourself, where do you stand? Is how you want to live your life, being around these people, being told what to do, what not to do, when to come, when to go? Or do you want to take control over your life and do what you need to do to better your life? So it was a no-brainer for me.
For you, and I'm glad you said that, because there are still people some might watch this podcast and say, well, this person I know went to jail, or this person did time in jail, and they didn't make anything in their life. So what I'm happy about is that you seized the moment, and you took that time, and you said, you know what, I'm going to do what God wanted me to do with my life. He wanted you to be the best version of yourself.
Right.
And you decided, because I believe everything we do starts with a decision.
Mm-hmm.
See, sometimes we say, oh, this happened. But everything we do starts with a decision. So while you were there, were you reading books? Did you have one person that you look up to and you say, well, you know what? He's doing that. That person is doing, I could do better than that. Well, I'm capable of that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I read thousands of books. So when it comes to reading, I read thousands of books.
Good.
I had a few mentors that were seasoned vets in prison.
Wow.
And that was doing a lot. They had courses, classes. They was facilitating. They was teaching. They turned their life around. They was very impactful in prison. So I looked up to them guys. Was taking tips from them. They was always giving me inspiration, motivation. And it's crazy because the most inspiration and motivation I had at that time was from prisoners, encouraging me, telling me, you got something good, man. Get out, do the right thing. Your work is beautiful. So they gave me a lot of inspiration as well, as a whole. So that was good. But aside from that, I had a lot of inspiring things for myself, because I read a lot of self-help books, What Makes the Great Great, Unlimited Power,
Wow.
12
Some good
Universal Laws of Success.
Yes.
So these things, really, really made an impact on how I view myself and what I need to do.
Wow.
And also I want to say, of course, my mom, I love my mom to death.
Always.
I didn't want to put my mom through this no more. She's getting older. I'm like, nah, we can't be doing this. It's bigger than me at this point. I got a family. I got loved ones that depend on me and need me around. And so all those decisions and all those things made me make a conscious decision.
Well, I'll say this. Thank you for being an example. Thank you for setting the tone so our youth could know that it's not where you start.
Mm-hmm.
I saw something before. It's not where you start. I was born a certain year. It's not how you start. It's a dash in between.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for making that dash in between count. You've made an error. You went through stuff. It's not the mistakes we make. It's what we do after we made those mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And I am grateful that you took that opportunity to do something great with that. You're working with the youth now.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
I remember we did a sip and pain together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I told you all my guests were connected.
Yes.
We did a sip and pain together, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, this guy just and drew this thing in 2 minutes, right? And it's like today we said, I said, Kev, I need a quick thing to for the interview, and you did this in like. And I'm like, okay, is that how you roll? Show off a little bit. You said, I would have had some fabulous one. We know your work.
Thank you.
But the fact that you could take time and you are so inspired and you love what you do.
Yes, definitely.
You absolutely love what you do. And I love that you love what you do, because I'm a hairstylist and I absolutely love what I do. Mm-hmm. That being said, I have a hairstylist question to break it up a little bit.
Okay.
So I'm a hairstylist, right? You know, and I know we just went through what happened to you before, and I know you went through that. Should I ask the question? No, yeah, let me ask you. Though. So how do you like your girls? Weave or no weaves?
I like I like natural overall, but I don't mind a weave if it don't look like a weave. I don't like the weaves that look like a weave.
Okay, now.
You know, so it has to be
You just
done
like when I
right.
install them. I know. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Good answer.
You gotta install them right. It gotta be laid right. You know, I don't know how the women what you go through to do that, but
You just like when we install it right?
install it right. I don't want to see it leaning or looking messy or look like it's glued on, not properly.
Oh, don't worry. Just send them to me. I got you.
Say no more.
I got you.
Say no more.
Got you.
And braids, I love braids to give that goddess effect. I love women in braids. I think
So
it
you
gives it a
just
goddess.
enjoy the natural beauty of a female,
Oh,
and I
yes.
love that. Thank you.
Yes, definitely.
So now we break it up. So Kev, what do you see for? Before I ask you that question, I'm gonna go back a little bit. What would you tell your younger self if you had to say something to your younger self? What is one thing you'd actually say to your younger self right now?
Stick to your music, stick to your crafts, be patient. I didn't have no patience. I was caught up in the realm of instant gratification, which is an illusion because everything in life is a process. We didn't come out being adults, you know.
Wait, say that again.
Everything in life is a process.
And
And we didn't come out as being adults, you know.
be patient.
You gotta be patient, very. So that's what I'll tell my younger self.
That is great.
And a little bit more disciplined
A little bit more disciplined.
in my craft and what I do.
Okay. With that being said, I want to ask you this question also. So we dealt with your younger self, but what are we now supposed to look for in the future from MC Cap? I know you have your music stuff. I know you have your artist stuff, and I'm still waiting on my piece to be finished.
Yeah.
So I could do my unveiling, Kev.
Okay.
But I
sounds
think
good.
I want that Kobe Bryant piece you did. You know I love me some Kobe Bryant.
Kobe, which one?
Don't be asking which one.
Is it Kobe? I done did so many pieces.
I need that Kobe Bryant piece, and I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna post it up on this podcast.
Okay.
Because I want that Kobe Bryant piece. Or that Michael Jackson. Nope, I'm going to take that Kobe Bryant piece from you. Thank you.
And Mike piece is nice too, though.
The Michael Jackson piece is nice, but I'm going to go with the Kobe 400, please. Thanks. Yeah, so I definitely need my piece so I could display it. Thank you very much.
Okay.
But with all you've been through, what are some of the lessons you've learned? And what are some of the lessons that you'd like to teach the youth that's maybe watching this podcast today?
My main thing I tell everybody, you know, to strive for supreme excellence in all aspects of your being. You know, you have to strive for that. You know, this is what keeps you in line of all. This is a lifetime process, so this will always keep you striving to be better and grow. You know, that's very important with me. I don't like people that play with. If you're gonna do something, do it.
That's right.
Don't play with it. You know, that's my thing. When I do something, I'm doing it. I'm not gonna play with it. So those are the things that I will definitely tell the youth. And once again, I know that they're impulsive. They don't have as much patience, but you got to be patient.
Get back to that patience.
Patience, discipline, consistency is the key elements of success. So I tell them those things, you know. And I'm an outreach worker for Snug,
Right.
so I deal with troubled youth all the time. We're an anti-gun violence organization, so you know I'm always constantly dealing with the kids in the street
Right.
and stuff like that. I also mentor the Westchester shelter. I'm starting a painting class every Monday, actually, starting September 13th there. So, you know, I always wanted to give back. I always told myself, you know,
You always do.
how will I be able to pay it forward and be an example so they could see somebody who changed their life and be an example so they know it can be done and they can do it. So here we are. This is what we're doing, paying it forward.
I think this podcast is a little selfish, right? I think I did this podcast to just bring people on that I want to say thank you to. I think it's a little selfish. I want to bring people on that I know could inspire the future generation, our future president, and someone, like there are a lot of media outlets out there and stuff. But what we're doing here is about conversation with people that people are not having. And I think you are a person that we should be having more conversation with as a city, as a country, because you've been there, you've been through the system. And when a young person, based on the conversation in the salon, is saying to me that it's not possible to, because that's a part of the conversation, it's not possible to go through the city and be a success. I wanted to speak to you. Yeah. Like I called you a couple of days, I didn't get an answer. I wanted to speak to you because I do know you. I have a girlfriend. I know many people that have been through the system that are a success. So thank you for just saying that here. And then you just didn't go through the system and be a success, right? You decided, let me show you how you could be successful and not go through the system. That's what I love. So Kev, from the bottom of my heart, with this selfish act that I have having you here for my benefit, thank you. So Kev, you went away for 21 years, right? At what age did you go in?
22, and I came home at 44.
So you went in at 22, came home at 44. Yeah. So what I was always curious about, how did the world change for you?
It changed so much. One of the things that I didn't really have too much issues on the way it changed because I was changing and evolving along with the world, even though I wasn't there. So I stayed up on current events. Of course, when I got a chance to get a hold to a cell phone, don't tell nobody. But I got one and learned how to navigate a phone and stayed in tune with the world from that aspect. So it gave me a head start. So when I came home, I already knew how to work a phone. I was familiar with it. And just technology as a whole, certain things was getting to me, like on the laptops and how to do certain things. Now, I can do it all now.
So I was out here, and I still don't know how to navigate the phone and the laptop and all of that. So I'm just gonna say, you still had one up on me.
Yeah, I do all that now.
I'm getting my way through it, but. What would you say, right? So I'm looking at this art piece right here. And we spoke before, and I know what inspired you. What do you think about? So when you're painting, I'm a hairstylist, and I look at the person's face, I look at their jobs, I look at a lot of things before I style a client. Well, if I'm going to style a bride, I look at their dress, I look at their venue, the kind of wedding they're having. So when a client call me, I'm doing a wedding, I need you to style me, I ask like, okay, let me see a picture of your dress, I need your veil, how many people, where's the wedding? And they're like, yeah, I need to know all of that because you have
That's your preparation.
Right. So how do you prepare for stuff like this? Explain this piece for me.
Okay, well, this piece right here, right? We have 914 Day, and a friend of mine's, Cartel, invited me to paint live. So while they was doing interviews and doing everything they had to do, I was on the side painting live. So the viewers got the chance to see me from blank do this live. So that's how this piece came about. And I chose a piece that was neutral, something that's peaceful, something that reminds me of serenity, and landscapes, seascapes like this always do that for me, So that's what inspired me to do this particular piece for that time. And it was
and you knew I like coconut tree. That's what it was.
Yeah, and it was fast for me to do. I mean, for some people, things is hard. For me, certain things is easy, and I can do it instinctively. And this is one of those pieces that was like that for me. So
this is something I would probably hang in my meditation room. The only thing I would probably add to it on the side, I would want some ocean. But this is something I would probably add because I love that. And because when I look at that, it's a peaceful, calming feeling I
And it
get.
give you an escape.
Yes. I can feel
For
the
me,
sand
art.
beneath my feet.
I
Mm.
deeply immerse myself in art. It's a form of escape. It was a beautiful escape for me in prison, and out here it's still an escape. We go through things out in the world. So when I'm creating, I'm in my zone. I'm in my world, and that's my safe haven. So I always dwell there all the time. Always.
With that being said, I have probably one final question. I know I keep saying that, right?
Okay,
But
let's
it's
go.
just so good.
Let's go.
If you'll give an advice to somebody that's in prison coming out and adjusting, because this is what I thought, it's an ignorance for me, but this is something that I thought I would want to know. Like, how do you adjust? I know you read up on it. I know you were reading. I know you were up on it, but how do you actually adjust once you get here?
Yeah, because reading is cool and it keep you textbook smart, but life experiences is always ultimate. So what you read, it can be something totally different than experiencing live and live in color.
But the world isn't that kind. That's true.
Right, right. So I tell them just be in tune, study, be
Right.
patient. A lot of guys who do a lot of time, reason why they come out and they can't really cope as much is because things is happening fast. Things is happening fast, and they feel they gotta know and learn everything fast. If you don't, it's cool. Take your time, study, because life is a study. It rewards the researcher. That's another saying.
I
So
like that one.
yeah. So I believe in that. So just take your time, study, see how things are now. The way people do things, and then you can figure out and fit yourself and see how you would do it. You don't have to do it like them. You could do it your way.
Be comfortable in who you are.
Yes, yes. And have that confidence in yourself. Know that you could do all things. All things is possible. I don't believe in impossibility. All things is possible. And just know that and believe in yourself. And it's going to be hard, especially if you haven't had employment for
Right.
years and years, So hopefully you'll be able to get some type of employment or start your own business, be an
Yeah.
entrepreneur, and do those things. We living in an entrepreneur world right now, so it's always good to just go for what you believe that you are here to do.
Right. Well, thank you because a lot of times we judge people and we all are guilty of that. We judge people, oh, he's been in jail. Oh, he's not this. But guess what you did? You just came, dropped the mic, and said, listen, I did that. I did a crime. I did a time. But guess what? And
Judges
now
are
this is
fine.
me. That was then, this is now.
That's
You
right.
know what? People have no choice but to judge you by your action now. So people always think that people are judging them by their past action. But your actions now can change the way a person view you. And it could always change that. And I think when you live within your best self and live your best self, I think you could always, always come out on top. Don't
Yes.
worry about what other people are doing. Stop worrying about what people think about you because a person's opinion of you has nothing, really nothing to do with it.
That's
If
right.
you do that research, I heard that quote somewhere and I forgot where I got it, but it's now mine and I'm keeping it. A person's opinion of you has nothing to do with you, really. It's always about them,
Yes.
right? It's always something deep down inside of them. So thank you for proving that. And thank you for being who you are. Kev, we love
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.